Magandang araw. So welcome to Principles of Steel Design, and our lesson for today is about the combined axial and flexural loadings. So let us define our lesson objectives. At the end of this module, you should be able to first calculate the bending stress. Second, identify the factors involved in combined axial and flexural loadings. And third, calculate the interaction value used in combined and flexural loadings. So axial load with bending. Bending moments in compression member tends to increase lateral deflections than moments in tension members. Increased lateral deflection in turn results in larger moments. The members are then subjected to both axial and bending stress acting simultaneously. So kapag nagkakaroon na tayo ngayon ng combination of the axial load with bending, okay, so ang nangyayari, magkasama na sila. Okay, so ibig sabihin yung member natin, subjected na siya for both axial and bending stress ng magkasabay. Okay, di ba meron tayong formula for that? Na ano ba yung formula natin? For axial natin, that is P over A. And then since magkasama nga sila, naa-add ngayon si MC over I, which is yung ating bending. Kaso 'di ba yung bending natin, hindi naman yan isang axis lang. May axis tayo or meron tayong bending with respect sa x-axis and kay y-axis. So therefore, ang nangyayari sa atin, the stress will now be combination of the axial load and then the bending across x-axis and y-axis. Kaya tayo nagkakaroon ng ganitong combinations. So, in beam columns, while many structural members can be treated as axially loaded columns or as beams with only flexural loadings, most beams and columns are subjected to some degree of both bending and axial load. So, di ba kasi, kung papansinin naman natin sa ating construction, ito yung column mo, ito yung beam mo. So, kumbaga, talagang nagkakaroon siya ng combination. Okay? Kasi, yung axial load mo, yung kanyang tension, and then yung kanyang compression, so nagsasama silang dalawa. Alright? So, most of the time, ay nagkakaroon talaga siya ng degree of both bending and axial load. So, this is especially true of statically indeterminate structures. Even the roller supports of a simple beam can experience friction that restrains the beam longitudinally, including axial tension when transverse loads are applied. Okay, so di ba yung mga different types of supports natin, we have the pin, the hinge, etc. Okay, so yung mga roller supports na yan, ay ang nangyayari, nakaka-experience siya ng friction that restrains the beam longitudinally. Okay, and then many columns can be treated as pure compression members with negligible error. If the column is a one-story member and can be treated as pinned at both ends, the only bending will result from minor accidental eccentricity of the load. Alright? So now, in combined axial and bending stress, meron din tayo ulit ngayon dito ng mga provisions or classifications. Okay? So we have two types of classification in terms of this. We have the small axial compression and when we have the large axial compression. So to solve this, i-check natin ngayon is si FA over FA. Okay, ano naman si FA over FA? Pareho sila. Ang pinagkaiba lang nila, maliit yung nasa taas, malaki yung nasa ibaba. Si FA na nasa taas, that is the actual. Okay? Ibig sabihin, that is the P over A. And then, si FA naman sa baba, that is the allowable. Okay? So, titignan natin. Ano ba yung actual over the allowable? Okay? Ano ba yung nangyayari in reality? And then, kapag ni-ratio natin siya sa capacity niya lang. Okay? If FA over FA is less than or equal to 0.15, then this is a small axial compression. Okay? Pag ganun, na small axial compression siya, ito na agad yung magiging interaction value natin. That is FA over FA plus FBX over FBX plus FBY over FBY, wherein it should not be greater than 1. Kasi kapag mas mataas na siya kay 1, ibig sabihin hindi na yun safe. Okay? So, take note, pag maliit, that is the actual, and then yung pag malaki naman, that is the allowable. So, same goes with the bending. Okay? Kapag maliit na F sa FBX at sa FBY, that is the actual, and then yung FBX over F and FBY natin na malaki, that is the allowable. Okay? Ngayon, kapag naman mas mataas kay 0.15 si FA over FA natin, that is considered now as large axial compression. Okay? Kapag ganito ang nangyari, meron tayong dalawang interaction criterion. We have the stability and then we have the strength. Okay? FA over FA plus CMX FBX over 1 minus FA over F prime EX multiplied by FBX, and same lang din pagdating kay FBY. Okay. Ngayon, meron din tayong tinitignan dito. The terms 1 over 1 minus FA over F prime E. Ito po yun. So, di ba may 1 kasi dyan. Sa 1 na yan, this 1, yung pinagsama na yan, that is what we call the amplification factor. Okay, so AF. So ngayon, dito, meron tayong makikita F prime E. That F prime E is what we call the Euler's stress. Okay, kung maaalala ninyo from our axial or from our compression members, we have the critical buckling stress from Euler. Diba? We have the 12 pi squared E over 23 KL over R squared. Pero ngayon, dito, take note, we have the X and the Y. Sorry, this is Y. Alright? So, that is the AF, the amplification factor. Now, the amplification factor is also modified by a reduction coefficient of Cm. So, ito yun, yung Cm. Nakikita natin na Cm dito. So, paano ba natin nakukuha yung Cm na yun? So, for compression members in frames subjected to joint translations or side sway not prevented, ibig sabihin, hindi ba prevented yung side sway? Binabanggit naman po yan sa problem natin. Okay? Then your Cm is already equal to 0.85. On the other hand, for compression member braced against joint translation in the plane of loading and subjected to transverse loading between their supports, or this is side sway prevented, okay? 1. For members whose ends are restrained against rotation in the plane of bending, Cm is equal to 0.85. So, kapag sinabi nating restrained against rotation, hindi siya pwedeng mag-rotate, ano nangyayari doon? Ang support niya ay fixed. Pero kapag naman yung members whose ends are unrestrained against rotation, so may possibility siya na pwede siyang mag-rotate. Okay, so ibig sabihin that is pinned. Okay, pinned yung ating support dito. Okay, but take note that this is subjected to transverse loading. So, ibig sabihin, aside from action load niya, may transverse load pa siya. Okay? Pero, for rotationally restrained compression members in frames braced against joint translation and not subjected to transverse loading, ibig sabihin, wala siyang transverse loading between their supports, then we can solve for Cm. Cm is equal to 0.6 minus 0.4 m1 over m2, and this should be greater than 0.4. If ever na mas mataas kay, if ever na mas mababa kay 0.4, ibig sabihin si 0.4 na yung gagamitin ninyo. And then again, m1 over m2, meron pa din po tayo niyan, negative. When bent in single curvature, so ibig sabihin, different opposite direction. Okay? Opposite directions. And then si M1 over M2, positive naman kapag siya ay reverse curvature or same direction. Okay? Ngayon, si magnification factor, that is the Cm over 1 minus Fa over F prime E. Okay? Pag daw si MF ay mas mababa kaysa kay 1.0, then ibig sabihin dapat ang gamitin mong MF ay 1.0. Okay? But, ginagamit lang po ito if, and only if, meron ka lang FBX over FBX. Wala kang FBY. Ibig sabihin, wala kang bending moment kay Y. Meron ka lang kay X. Pero kapag parehong meron ng para kay strong axis at kay weak axis, and then use the value of MF talaga, kung ano yung nakuhang value ng MF. Okay, again, gagamitin lang po natin ito if ang meron lang tayo ay isang axis para sa ating bending. Okay? Now, para mas maintindihan natin yung discussion na ito, let us solve now using the sample problems on the following videos.